Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. It's that time of the year. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson. And today I'm going to be talking about airport operations up at the North Pole, where Santa flies out of every year around this time in my basement. Okay, and I see in the chat here Vanessa Kitty, hi, and Shecky Pavel, right back at you. The last live stream that I did on Wednesday, we were having a little. We were kind of wondering about, what would the runway numbering be at the North Pole, and we were like, geez, I don't know. We figured out that it should be at the true North Pole, not the magnetic North Pole. But what would the runway numbering look like? Being if you're a flight instructor like me, this is what you have to do is you can't lie to your students. So I can't just make something up. It's like, okay, I gotta, and it's not like people in the chat are my students or anything like that, but I kind of want to know the answer to that myself. So now we got the definitive video on what the airport operations is like up at the North Pole. And it was pretty interesting to find this out. So after my live stream, I did a little bit of Googling around. And there was different ideas on what the runways would be numbered. So anyways, you actually can find an IFR approach plate for the North Pole. It's right there. And I'm going to put a link to the place where you could download one of these if you're ever flying up to Santa's place. And the good people over at Jeppesen, they made up an approach plate for this. So it's a pretty complicated approach. It is a RNAV GPS runway 18. So apparently what it is, the way that they number the runways up at the North Pole, because you figure if it's where's my little KD-12X? There we go. Hey, what do you think? Got the old Guns N' Roses Christmas shirt out today. All right. So anyways, I figured I'd be festive. And so we got the KD-12X. And so let's just say that this is the North Pole, and you're going to be flying up to it. So no matter where you're coming, you're going to be flying north, whether you're coming from this way. It's like a dome, right? So this is like way exaggerated. Backhanded. Here we go. Up and over. And then once you're over top of the pole, at that point, you'd be going south, right? So anyways, we got, all of the runways, apparently, it's always runway 18 going south. So I'm assuming, or what I was assuming is that it starts exactly at the North Pole and then it goes south. So, and then it was also in the some of the cautions that it says in the approach plate here. Okay, caution, non-sleigh traffic discouraged. Reindeer practice flights year-round. Number 2, flights in the vicinity may be conducted under the influence of eggnog, so watch out for that. No unapproved winter operations. Number 4, postal flights with letters to Santa receive priority sequencing. Number 5, reindeer and elves on and in vicinity of runway. And this number 6 one here got me thinking. Runway does not maintain stationary location. So, okay, now what does that mean? So I was like, okay, I'll have to get to the bottom of this here. And then there's also pretty cool here. They got like they got some high-speed toy loading path. You can see it if you check it out. If you're all piloty, this is pretty cool. So frequency is 122.8 when ELFCOM is an op. So I was looking at ELFCOM there, and it's like, that's the air traffic service up at the North Pole that Santa Claus uses. So, and thanks for the compliment there, April Sunshine. And so it's like, okay, if I'm going to find out information about any runway that's in Canada, now it's like kind of the North Pole. It's kind of every little country around the North Pole. They kind of want to claim territory there. So the Canada Flight Supplement. This is a book that has all of the airports in Canada in it, right? So I'm looking in here, and I didn't see anything about. Well, actually, I didn't even know about the official name of Santa's Workshop International. So I was looking in here, but it usually goes by the city. So, like, if I wanted to find Windsor, I'd look up Windsor. Okay, here we go. So I was looking up North Pole, Santa, nothing there. So I thought, okay, well, we got to figure out some way of figuring out what they mean by the runway doesn't maintain a stationary location. I could see that in the wintertime, maybe if it's on an ice flow, but or in the summertime, it could be on like a little ice flow, and it could be floating around up in the Arctic Ocean. But yeah, so I figured I'd call up the good people at Nav Canada and see, hey, what's going on here? So I was thinking, okay, who am I going to call? So, and then I was also wondering about would it be magnetic or true? So I wanted to confirm that with Nav Canada too, what the runways would be. So, okay, so the first people I called up was around here. You dial 1-866 WX brief, and that'll get you like around here. We get the London Flight Services. And then they tell you all, basically they have this on their computer. They have a bunch of great weather, what would you call it, products that they can check out, and they can give you really good detailed weather briefings. So I called up yesterday, and I had a very helpful girl named Jennifer help me out up in London. And so shout out to Jennifer. Thanks for your help. And so she was saying that, and I was wondering how could I get a hold of the Edmonton flight services, because you dial this 1-866 number. So she said that it's just low. It's routed by just whatever your area code is. But she gave me the number for Edmonton Flight Information Center, and I'll show you this. If you're ever doing a flight test, the planning section of the Canada Flight Supplement, very important to know if you're doing a flight test. Just things like say, so here I am. If I'm way up at the top of Canada, way up here. Okay, and so this sector here, that's controlled by Edmonton Flight Service, or Edmonton FIC, Edmonton Flight Information Center. So, okay, so if those guys are controlling and they have all the information about like what's going on the Arctic, so I figured they would know the most about Santa Claus. So, yeah, so Jennifer gave me the number for the Edmonton FIC, and I called those guys up. And yeah, because in the book here, they tell you if you're flying around what frequencies to, you probably can't see that, what frequencies to go on if you're flying around. Maybe you can't see that, but that's up at Ellesmere Island, very north of Canada. Anyways, okay, so I called the guy in Edmonton FIC, and I said, okay, I'm trying to find out some information about the runways for Santa Claus. And he said he didn't really know anything about that. But then he said, well, maybe I'll hand you off to the IFR guys upstairs. So he transferred me up to the IFR guy. And so the IFR guy, he put it in, like, I still didn't know the actual name of the airport, that it's called Santa's Workshop International. So I talked to the guy and I said, yeah, I don't know what it is. Look up, I don't know, Santa's Workshop, North Pole. I could hear him typing it into the computer, and he said, no, we don't have anything in the computer for that. So it's like, oh, well, what else am I going to do, right? So how else do you get a hold of Santa Claus? You write him a letter, right? So it's like, okay, it was a little bit late, and it was just starting to snow here. It's pretty nasty out right now. And so it's like I put the letter in the mailbox last night. This morning, my phone rings. It's like, ring, ring. And it's like, yeah, turns out one of the elves gave me a shout. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know what Canada Post is doing, but, I mean, they're getting Santa's letters up to him, like, fast. It could be like, I don't know, reindeer or elf magic or something like that. So, yeah, I wrote down the guy's name. It was Bilaktatich. But everybody calls him Bill. Because he's like, I guess it's an Icelandic elf name. So Bill the elf gave me a shout, and he's the guy. He doesn't work for Elfcom, but he was working for. He was kind of in charge of the grounds, and he was actually the guy that or the guy, that was the elf I was supposed to talk to. So I'm asking the guys, the elf, it's like, okay, so if you're going to be changing the runways, if they're in a, how did they describe that? It's not maintaining a stationary location. How do you guys do that, right? And so when I was up north in Sudbury, we used to fly off of Frozen Lake there, and the people that owned the airplanes that I would rent, they get out there with their snow machines, their skidoos, and they'd kind of pack down some snow. So I'm asking Bill, Bill the elf is like, so did you guys go out there with like skidoos or something like that? And he's like, dude starts laughing at me. He's like, dude, we're elves. Like, they got magic and stuff for that. So it's like, I'm like, whoa, hello, talking to an elf, duh. Okay, so yeah, I'm a pilot. Okay, so anyways, he tells me all about that, and yeah, I'll describe that with. Still don't have a whiteboard. Maybe if I'm a good boy this year, I'll get one for Christmas. But I do have something even better. We got the cardboard to explain how the runways work. If it's not IFR, so if you're now, Bill the elf was telling me that. Okay, we got like the full procedure over here for the IFR. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little little oval there that you can do the full procedure, and then you can kind of hold there, and then you go straight in. It's on your GPS approach. But so anyways, like apparently what happens every year is that, Santa at the end of the night, he's all full of like cookies and milk. And he's all tired and everything. And so apparently it's a big ongoing joke up there that at ElfCon, they always clear him for the full approach. And Santa's always like, ho, 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 I'm pretty tired. And what do you say? Something like you'd always request vectors. So anyways, they vector him in. It's a joke. I guess you got to be kind of an elf pilot to get that one. But anyways, we got the cardboard here. So kind of what I did the other day, I'll show you how the runways are like. Okay, so you're going to have a runway. Okay, how are we going to do this? I'll kind of make it like I had it the other day. Got Russia over there. Alaska's over there. Canada's over here. So we got Greenland over here. Iceland. Scandinavia. There we go. That's what it looks like at the North Pole. Okay, and this is definitely not to scale. So we got the North Pole here, right in the middle. Okay, this is Russia over here. Alaska, Greenland, and Canada. Okay, so we got Russia over here, Alaska over there, Canada's over here, Greenland is there, and this is like Scandinavia, I guess. Norway kind of pops up there too. So what happens is, yeah, okay. So he was saying that, okay, because the Santa sleigh doesn't have a whole lot of rudder authority, like it doesn't have a rudder at all. So it always has to be landing like into the wind. And, it makes it easier for the reindeer too, because then when they touch down, their legs don't have to move as fast. So what they do is they just kind of take a look at what the wind is doing. And then they, with their elf magic, they just make the runway go that way. So let's just say we're up at the North Pole and the wind's blowing over here from Alaska. Okay, like that. So the wind's blowing this way. You'd be flying heading of 360 to here, and then you'd make this one here. That's runway 18. Yeah, so it's according to the chart, it's runway 18. So it'd be start at the North Pole and then kind of go south there. So runway 18. And but the thing is, I was like, it could be like that, but it could also be pointing over here if the wind is going that way. So what Bill the Elf was telling me was that just kind of like what we do down here for if you got parallel runways. So you got something like, okay, what would that be? So okay, so if there's parallel runways down here, that's kind of like upside down. But this is like, that's runway 26 left, and runway 26 right. So they actually, if it's things are alphanumeric like that, well, usually in aviation you'd call that Lima and Romeo, but yeah, so they call it 26 left, 26 right, just to, not to get any confusion. So that's what I was thinking they would call that, like 18 Alpha, but Bill the Elf cleared that up and he said that they just say whatever country it's pointing towards or whatever region. So it could be so that'd be 18 Alaska, 18 Canada, 18 whatever Iceland over here, 18 Iceland, 18 Russia, and then then the elves know where to go, or the reindeer know where to go. Santa knows how to land. There's no crosswind. There's no side loading on the sleigh, and everybody's all nice and safe. So I mean, they got it all figured out, and that's but that would be only if he cancels the his IFR, and for VFR, it's alphanumeric, runway 18, and then whatever country it's pointed towards. So that's what Bill the Elf told me, anyways. And now we got it down to, I finally found out the actual, it's one of those things that people always like around Christmas time, they always try to stump the flight instructor. And now you got all the information. If you're a flight instructor, you can just say exactly, you can show them the link to this video, and yeah, there we go. So now we know how the runways are. And I forget who came up with that, Denis or Wrench or something like that. My last live stream. So anyways, it looks like we got a whole bunch of happy people in the chat here. And I'm just going to go. I've been kind of like, really concentrating here and haven't really seen what's going on in the chat. So I'm going to go back here a little bit and just kind of see if there's any questions or anything like that. Okay, what do we got here? All right. So we got a few Merry Christmases. Oh, hey, Jordan's here. Shecky's here. Vanessa Kitty's still here. Very cool. April Sunshine. April seems to think I need a whiteboard. Oh, well. Okay. Oh, and Lowe's sells a nice whiteboard chalkboard at 2 feet by 4 feet. I don't know. It's just like, I'm just kind of cheap. And I mean, I got lots of cardboard lying around and my marker still hasn't run out of ink. So it's kind of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I mean, I don't know, kind of cheap. I don't feel like buying one. And actually a lot of people like the cardboard, so I might just kind of stick with it as a gimmick. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, Jordan's asking, off topic, but what's your favorite GNR song? Civil War is kind of my favorite. It's hard between that and Patience. I don't know, maybe Paradise City, probably the best Guns N' Roses one. Probably Paradise City, just off the top of my head. Okay, and what else we got here? Okay. Oh, yeah. And then Jordan says, nice to see you decorated the man cave. Okay. Well, yeah, I was thinking we'll be like a little bit more Christmassy here. So I got a few other little things and just kind of just made it a little bit more Christmassy. And oh, hey, David's in town here. So the Safety Dog. Hello, David. And check out the Safety Dog's channel too. There, yeah, he's got a YouTube channel called The Safety Dog, school safety expert. What else? I'm just looking here what you guys can see. Yeah, I just kind of did a little bit, put a little gift bags and stuff like that over there to make it look like it's this isn't exactly where I'm going to be celebrating Christmas, but it's a little bit for the ambiance. Okay, what do we got here too? All right. And yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much about it. What's this here? Okay, so Safety Doc's saying he's got a show on deck for Monday, episode 200. Oh, yeah, Doc just got monetized a little while ago. And that's pretty cool. The bystander effect. Why you want to move to Windsor. Haha. Okay, and yeah, so that's about it. I won't be doing anything till the 26th. What is today? Today is Friday. Checking my little calendar here. Okay, so Christmas is Sunday. Yep. So it looks like I'll be back on in Canada. We call it Boxing Day, is the 26th. So everybody out there, have a good Christmas. Glad you could. Really glad you could come by here today, and I'm glad we cleared the air about what all the runways are and everything. So, Merry Christmas, everybody in the chat, and Merry Christmas to everybody else that's watching. And as a special Christmas present, well, I guess it's not really a Christmas present. I've been working on this video to, like, I ran some Cat 5 Ethernet cable through my house, and I was crawling around up in the attic and stuff, and I made a video of it. So I'm just kind of working to do like a little voiceover on it. I'll probably do that today. So I think on the weekend you can anticipate I'll have another video out, and you'll see me crawling around and hooking up the internet. Ooh, exciting, eh? But anyways, it might help. I figure it might help out somebody that and it's a long one too. I was editing the crap out of this thing. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long. There's a whole bunch of. There's one time I had this string, and I bought this new like little I don't know, a little roll of twine to drop down the wall and then pick up a wire and then pull the wire up with this twine and the string, and there was like this nylon stuff, and they melted it on there, and I got the camera going. And it took me like 5 minutes to get the string out. And I'm like recording. I'm like, okay, this is taking way too long, and I'm getting all pissed off and stuff. So I'll explain that on my video too. It kind of jumps, and I cut out like about 3 minutes of me trying to get the string apart. But anyways, very good. Yeah. So okay, we are going to shut her down here, and this weekend I'm going to try my best to get another video out. It'll be something to watch. You can get some popcorn and watch me crawl around up in my attic and stuff like that. And there we go. And you can always forward through the boring parts here. Oh, and then Safety Doc's asking, your house is 100 years old? Yes, it's a 100-year-old house. Last year or this year, I forget. Yeah, it was either built in 21 or 22. I forget which one it was, but anyways, yeah. So you'll see it in the video what a 100-year-old attic looks like, and it's pretty dirty. So, okay, and everyone stay warm too because it's pretty cold out there. And yeah, that's about it. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and we're just gonna kind of shut her down. So thank you for watching. Goodbye and Merry Christmas.